The timeless coming-of-age classic Stand By Me touched generations with its heartfelt story of friendship loss and the journey from childhood to adulthood. But beyond the unforgettable characters on screen, the film launched the careers of young actors whose lives took very different paths. Nearly 4 decades later, some became international stars, some stepped away from Hollywood, and others left us far too soon. Join us as we look back at the Stand By Me cast then and now to see how time has changed them both on screen and in real life. River Phoenix portrayed Chris Chambers in Stand By Me 1986 at just 15 years old, delivering a performance that defined the heart of the film. Chris, the leader of the group, is tough and street smart, yet hides deep vulnerability beneath his rough exterior. Burdened by a troubled family and the stigma of a criminal background, he longs for a better life and sees potential in Gordy that even Gordy himself doubts. Chris's courage and sense of justice shine in pivotal moments, such as when he defends Gordy with a gun against the older gang, showing both his desperation and loyalty. In the film's epilogue, it is revealed that Chris later pursued his dream of becoming a lawyer, but was tragically killed while trying to break up a fight, giving his story a heartbreaking resonance. Outside the film, River Phoenix became one of the brightest young stars of the 1980s, acclaimed for roles in Running on Empty and My Own Private Idaho, which earned him critical praise and awards recognition. Off-screen, he was also a musician and environmental activist. Tragically, Phoenix died on October 31, 1993, at just 23 years old, from drug-induced heart failure caused by a lethal combination of cocaine and heroin. Will Wheaton portrayed Gordy LaChance in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 14 years old, embodying the sensitive and introspective narrator of the story. Gordy is a quiet, intelligent boy struggling with grief over the death of his older brother and the emotional neglect of his parents. Through the journey to find a missing body with his friends, Gordy's role becomes central as he gradually embraces both his pain and his talent for storytelling, which symbolizes his eventual path to adulthood. His loyalty to Chris, Teddy, and Vern highlights his deep compassion, while his final choice to pursue writing marks his transformation into a confident individual with a voice of his own. In real life, Will Wheaton went on to achieve fame as Wesley Crusher on Star Trek: The Next Generation, and later reinvented himself as a writer, podcaster, and advocate for mental health awareness. He authored memoirs such as Still Just a Geek and became a beloved figure in nerd culture. Will married Anne Prince in 1999, becoming stepfather to her 2 children, and has been open about his struggles with depression and recovery. Today, he remains admired for both his early acting and his candor in using personal experiences to support others. As of 2025, Will Wheaton is 53 years old. Jerry O'Connell portrayed Vern Tessio in Stand By Me 1986, when he was only 11 years old, making his film debut with a role that perfectly captured childhood innocence and vulnerability. Vern is the comic relief of the group, overweight, nervous, and often the target of jokes. Yet his enthusiasm and loyalty endear him to the audience. His fear of danger and constant worries contrast with the bravery of his friends, but his simple honesty brings balance to the dynamic. Vern's discovery of the missing body's location sets the adventure in motion, proving that even the least confident among them can change the course of events. Though often teased, his presence shows the importance of friendship and acceptance. In the film's epilogue, Vern grows up to lead a modest and stable life as a construction worker, marrying young and starting a family, a sharp contrast to the more dramatic destinies of his friends. Off-screen, Jerry O'Connell built a long career in Hollywood. He starred in the cult sci-fi series Sliders, played memorable roles in Jerry Maguire and Scream 2, and later became a familiar presence on talk shows and reality TV. He also voiced animated characters and worked as a producer, proving his versatility. In 2007, he married actress Rebecca Romijn, and together they have twin daughters, often appearing publicly as one of Hollywood's most grounded families. As of 2025, Jerry O'Connell is 51 years old. Corey Feldman portrayed Teddy Duchamp in Stand By Me 1986 at the age of 15, playing the group's most volatile and eccentric member. Teddy is deeply scarred both physically and emotionally from his abusive father, a war veteran who once held his ear to a stove. Despite this trauma, Teddy idolizes his father's military past and hides his pain behind manic energy humor and reckless bravado. His unstable nature often puts the boys in danger, Yet his loyalty to the group remains fierce, and he represents both the resilience and fragility of youth. While Teddy does not achieve success in adulthood, his presence in the story embodies the long shadow of trauma on a child's future. In real life, Corey Feldman became one of the most recognizable teen actors of the 1980s, starring in hits like The Goonies, Gremlins, and The Lost Boys. His career was marked by both triumph and turbulence, including struggles with addiction and advocacy against abuse in Hollywood. Feldman also pursued music and remained in the public eye through memoirs and documentaries. Though his personal life has been tumultuous, including multiple marriages and one son, he has remained a vocal figure for survivors of abuse, turning his painful past into a mission for awareness and change. As of 2025, Corey Feldman is 54 years old. Kiefer Sutherland portrayed Ace Merrill in Stand By Me 1986 at 19 years old, cementing his image as a convincing on-screen villain. Ace is the ruthless leader of the older gang, feared for his cruelty, arrogance, and reckless sense of power. He thrives on intimidation, taking pleasure in humiliating weaker kids and threatening violence. His chilling presence drives much of the tension in the film, culminating in the dramatic standoff at the railway tracks where Gordy and his friends confront him. In that moment, Ace is forced to back down, symbolizing the younger boy's triumph over fear and oppression. While Ace's future is not revealed, his character represents the dangers of wasted youth, toxic masculinity, and the emptiness of a life built on domination. In reality, Kiefer Sutherland rose to global stardom in both film and television. He appeared in classics such as The Lost Boys, Young Guns, and Flatliners, but his defining role came as counterterrorism agent Jack Bauer in the hit series 24. For this, he won both Emmy and Golden Globe Awards, earning international acclaim. Beyond acting, he pursued a career in music, releasing country rock albums and touring worldwide. His personal life has included high-profile relationships, and he is the father of actress Sarah Sutherland. Despite ups and downs, he has remained one of the most respected actors of his generation. As of 2025, Kiefer Sutherland is 58 years old. Gary Riley portrayed Charlie Hogan in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 22 years old, playing one of Ace Merrill's gang members who serves as a source of menace to the younger boys. Charlie is cocky, mischievous, and thrives on the reckless bravado that defines the older teens, though he often appears as more of a follower than a true leader. His mockery of the younger kids reflects the cruel gap between adolescence and adulthood, showing how easily youthful energy can twist into hostility when left unchecked. Though not as fearsome as Ace, Charlie's presence adds to the gang's intimidation, heightening the stakes of the boys' adventure. Beyond this film, Gary Riley carved out a modest but recognizable acting career in the 1980s and early 1990s. He appeared in cult classics such as Summer School, Ruthless People, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, often portraying comedic or quirky side characters. Unlike many of his co-stars, however, Riley chose to step away from Hollywood entirely in the mid-1990s, pursuing a quieter life out of the spotlight. He became known among fans for attending reunion events and sharing stories of his short but memorable time in the industry. As of 2025, Gary Riley is 61 years old. Casey Siemaszko portrayed Billy Tessio in Stand By Me 1986 at the age of 25, taking on the role of Vern's older brother and a member of Ace Merrill's delinquent gang. Billy is reckless, lazy, and cruel, a product of small-town stagnation who finds entertainment in mocking and intimidating others. Though he has limited screen time, his role strengthens the atmosphere of threat surrounding the boy's journey. As one of the teens who also learns about the body, Billy's rivalry with the younger group underscores the difference between innocence and corruption. He embodies the path that the younger boys fear they might one day follow if they cannot escape their environment. In his acting career, Casey Siemaszko became known as a reliable and versatile character actor. He appeared in major films such as Back to the Future, Young Guns, and Of Mice and Men, and earned recognition for his ability to shift between comedy drama and action roles. On television, he guest starred in numerous series, solidifying his reputation as a steady presence in Hollywood. Unlike many of his co-stars, Casey chose a more private path in later years, gradually stepping away from the spotlight. He has kept details of his personal life largely hidden from the public, preferring a quieter existence. As of 2025, Casey Siemaszko is 64 years old. Marshall Bell portrayed Mr. LaChance in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 43 years old, giving a cold and distant edge to the role of Gordy's father. Mr. LaChance is emotionally detached, unable to provide comfort to his surviving son after the tragic death of Denny. His stern demeanor and quiet neglect highlight Gordy's feelings of invisibility within his own family, making the boy's journey of friendship and self-discovery even more poignant. Though his screen time is brief, Mr. LaChance symbolizes the generational inability to communicate grief and love, reinforcing Gordy's search for belonging. Outside the film, Marshall Bell built an impressive career as a dependable character actor. He is widely remembered for his role as Coach Schneider in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and as the unforgettable mutant leader Quato in Total Recall 1990. Bell appeared in numerous films and series, including Twins, Starship Troopers, and Capote, earning a reputation for portraying complex, often eccentric, supporting characters. He married fellow actress Milena Canonero, an Academy Award-winning costume designer, and together they have been a long-standing couple in Hollywood. As of 2025, Marshall Bell is 83 years old. Bradley Gregg portrayed Richard Eyeball Chambers in Stand By Me 1986 at the age of 19, embodying Chris Chambers' older brother and a prominent member of Ace Merrill's gang. Eyeball is cruel, dismissive, and antagonistic, often using his position as an older sibling to belittle Chris and remind him of the family's tarnished reputation. His role reinforces the bleak environment from which Chris longs to escape, making Eyeball both a personal and symbolic obstacle to his younger brother's growth. The tension between Eyeball and Chris underscores one of the film's central themes, the struggle to break free from cycles of poverty, abuse, and crime. Though he is ultimately overshadowed by Ace's dominance, Eyeball contributes to the sense of danger surrounding the group. In his real career, Bradley Gregg found steady work as both an actor and behind-the-scenes contributor. He appeared in notable films such as A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Indiana Jones, and The Last Crusade and Fire in the Sky, building a resume of memorable supporting roles. Later, he transitioned into directing and producing, often working on projects with a social or spiritual dimension. Unlike many of his fellow cast members, Bradley has largely kept his personal life private, though he is known to be married with children. As of 2025, Bradley Gregg is 58 years old. Scott Beach portrayed Mayor Grundy in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 55 years old, offering a small but memorable glimpse into the world surrounding the boys. Though his role as the town mayor is brief, it situates the story within a broader community where authority figures appear distant and disconnected from the struggles of the children. His presence highlights the small-town setting and reinforces the theme that adults, whether parents or leaders, often fail to truly see or guide the next generation. Beyond this role, Scott Beach enjoyed a diverse career as an actor, writer, and radio personality. He appeared in films such as American Graffiti and worked extensively in voiceover narration and theater, earning recognition for his deep voice and comedic timing. He was also a cultural commentator and contributed to Bay Area radio for many years, making him a beloved local figure. Tragically, his life was cut short when he died on February 13, 1996 at the age of 65 due to lung cancer. Frances Lee McCain portrayed Mrs. LaChance in Stand By Me 1986 when she was 42 years old, bringing a quiet but deeply sorrowful presence to Gordy's mother. Mrs. LaChance is consumed by grief after the loss of her eldest son Denny, leaving her emotionally withdrawn and unable to comfort Gordy. Her detachment emphasizes the emotional isolation that Gordy feels at home, strengthening the film's theme of children searching for connection beyond their families. Although her role is limited, her coldness leaves a lasting impression and deepens the authenticity of the story's depiction of grief. In real life, Frances Lee McCain enjoyed a rich acting career across film, television, and stage. She is fondly remembered for maternal roles in 1980s classics, including Billy's mom and Gremlins' Lorraine's grandmother in Back to the Future and Ren's mother in Footloose. McCain became known as a quintessential on-screen mother figure, embodying warmth or sorrow depending on the role. Beyond film, she continued to appear on television and later turned to theater work, demonstrating her versatility as a performer. She has largely kept her private life away from media attention, focusing on her craft rather than celebrity. As of 2025, Frances Lee McCain is 81 years old. Richard Dreyfuss portrayed the adult version of Gordy LaChance, known as the writer in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 38 years old, providing the reflective narration that frames the entire story. His voice and presence lend maturity and poignancy to the film, as he recalls the pivotal summer journey with his childhood friends. Through his narration, Gordy's transformation from a lonely, grieving boy into a man who finds his purpose in writing is given depth and resonance. Dreyfuss's performance anchors the film's nostalgic tone, reminding viewers of the lasting power of friendship and memory. In real life, Richard Dreyfuss is one of Hollywood's most respected actors, winning an Academy Award for The Goodbye Girl, and later appearing in classics like Jaws' Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Mr. Holland's Opus. He has also been outspoken about political and social issues, founding the Dreyfuss Civics Initiative to promote civic education. His personal life includes 3 marriages and 3 children, and he has openly discussed his struggles with bipolar disorder and addiction, turning them into advocacy for mental health awareness. As of 2025, Richard Dreyfuss is 77 years old. Bruce Kirby portrayed Mr. Kadacioluo in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 61 years old, playing the owner of the junkyard where the boys face a humiliating encounter. Mr. Kadacioluo is gruff, cynical, and mocking, taking particular aim at Teddy Duchamp by cruelly insulting his mentally ill father. A moment that exposes Teddy's deepest wounds and sparks one of the film's most powerful emotional outbursts. Though a minor character, Mr. Kadacioluo embodies the cruelty of adulthood, as seen through the eyes of children, serving as a reminder of how harsh the outside world can be. Off-screen, Bruce Kirby built a long and respected career as a character actor in both television and film, spanning over 5 decades. He appeared in iconic series such as Columbo Kojak and The Rockford Files, and also made film appearances in Catch-22 and Crash. Known for his dependability and ability to bring authenticity to small but memorable roles, Kirby earned admiration across Hollywood. He was the father of actor Bruno Kirby, who also enjoyed a successful career before his own untimely death in 2006. Bruce Kirby passed away on January 24, 2021, at the age of 95 due to natural causes. John Cusack portrayed Denny LaChance in Stand By Me 1986 when he was 20 years old, bringing warmth and charisma to the role of Gordy's older brother. Though his screen time is limited, Denny leaves a lasting impact as the supportive sibling who recognizes Gordy's talent and encourages him, standing in contrast to their emotionally distant parents. His sudden death in the film serves as the emotional catalyst for Gordy's grief and isolation, making his memory a driving force behind the younger boy's coming-of-age journey. Outside the film, John Cusack rose to fame as one of the most popular leading men of the 1980s and 90s. He starred in beloved films such as Say Anything, Grosse Point Blank High Fidelity, and Being John Malkovich, earning praise for his offbeat charm and ability to embody both romantic and complex characters. He continued to work across genres from comedies to thrillers like Con Air and 1408. Unlike many stars, Cusack has largely avoided marriage and children, preferring to keep his personal life private while maintaining a reputation as a thoughtful and selective actor. As of 2025, John Cusack is 59 years old. Who is your favorite character? From Stand By Me, how do you feel knowing that some cast members are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated. We appreciate your support and are glad to have you as part of our community.